Let me take you back to 2009. It was a very scary time. Everything we knew, everything we assumed was a constant, our heritage was on trial. The president was trying to make deals, and the CEOs of our most important nameplates were literally on the hot seat in our nation's capital. Now, as an optimist, I believed it was all going to work out. I believed that somehow the forces that were at the table would find a path forward, and we would avoid what we were trying to not think about. But then we heard the B word, bankruptcy. Who would have thought that we would hear that word regarding our heritage? And who would have thought that one bankruptcy would have been the foreshadowing to a second and to a third? After all, we put the world on wheels. We taught the world how to say, "I love my car." Now, go to 2010. We had lost 1 million jobs in the state, and there were a series of barriers to progress, each of which individually would have been enough, but put them together, insurmountable. Now, if you look and fast forward to today, you have to say to yourself, that's pretty amazing. Look at all that we've accomplished since 2009, all of the progress and all of the barriers that we knocked down. An ineffective state government with zero reserves, a broken financially Detroit, a job-killing business tax, and no ability to attract any inbound investment. So we've accomplished a ton, but now the question is, how do we use this reset moment, this refreshed opportunity, and leverage it to its highest and best use? And what are we seeking? What are we here for? What are we looking for? And I think the answer to that is growth. Economic growth, population growth, and jobs growth. Because if we don't have growth, everything we've worked for will be for naught. And so that brings us to the Mackinac Policy Conference here in 2015. And we've built some vision and pillars that we think are very important to what we're going to discuss here in the next 2.5 days. Our overall vision is to take this reset moment and to search for the catalyst for growth. Underneath the overall vision are 3 important pillars: talent, cohesion, and urban revitalization. Now, we've spoken about talent before from this stage. This year, we're going to focus on skilled jobs. How do we fill the 70,000 open jobs that are available in this state? And how do we create an environment to attract other people to move here to be the next generation of our population? Cohesion. How do we speak as one Michigan voice? The fact is that people around the world listen to what we say. People around the world watch what we do. And people around the world take cues from the way we treat each other. And until we raise the bar on cohesion, which is the glue to everything, we will not get there. And then finally, urban revitalization. From Detroit to Pontiac, from Grand Rapids to Kalamazoo, from Battle Creek to Flint, until we raise up our great cities to their historic norms and create places where people want to live, work, play, and educate their families, and interconnect those communities together, we will not be able to attract those who are looking at us to move here, whether it's an inbound investment from China or a couple that should move back here from Chicago. So, how are we going to get it done? We have an amazing set of speakers. Sandy talked about a few of them. They're in your program. Everybody from Bill Ford to Nate Silver to Walter Robb and Doris Kern-Goodwin, who's going to take us through a very interesting discussion about the role that Detroit and Michigan played in World War II, transforming ourselves into the arsenal of democracy, and how that same transformational spirit works for us today. So I would say, let's get focused, stay hydrated. We got a lot of work to do. Now, a couple of thank yous. I'd like to thank the Chamber team, Sandy Barat, Tammy Carnreich, Wendy Nodge, Megan Spanitz, Jim Martinez, and Brad Williams, who do an amazing job to deliver for you a world product here on Mackinac Island. Please give it up for the Chamber staff. Next, I want to thank our current board chair, Hank Cooney. Hank sat in these shoes last year and has done a phenomenal job in leading our chamber. And if you look back at the 35 years of this policy conference and those who have led this conference and then the chamber, it's an incredible list of leaders. Many of them are here today. I would like to ask all past chairs of the chamber to please stand to be recognized. Thank you very much. So let's get started. I first met Rick Snyder when he was just beginning his first campaign. He was literally a rounding error in the polls. And he came to the Deloitte office in Detroit to meet a few of us to talk about his vision. We had a very engaging conversation. And as you might know, the governor's a CPA. And we had a terrific conversation, and we understood what he was saying. We understood how he was saying it. We understood his vision. And he left, and we talked for a bit, and we said, wow, we really like this guy. He's just like us. It's perfect. Now, the governor's known for a lot of slogans. One tough nerd, no credit, no blame, relentless positive action. And on the surface, you might say the slogans are interesting, but they don't really mean anything. But if you peel that apart and you really understand the DNA of the governor, this really is his core. And having been at the National Governors Association meetings and watching how other governors watch our governor, and watching how other governors are understanding the template that our governor is building in Michigan under these sort of slogans, it has deep meaning, and the governor means it. Now, I mentioned that the governor's a CPA. In fact, he's only the third CPA in US history to be a sitting governor, which is pretty incredible, and as a CPA, very proud of that in my profession. And I've said to the governor before, with all due respect to our lawyer friends, now it's our turn. With that, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce the 48th governor of the great state of Michigan, your governor, Rick Snyder.